How have you been dealing with the trolls? Do you go at them at all?
No, I just laugh. A lot of it's funny, or a lot of
There
it.
are funny ones.
Yeah, like I'll laugh, and I always say, I had a mentor tell me, like, don't ever take the opinions of people's life that you don't want. Let it affect your life.
Yeah.
And that always stuck with me. So I actually find it like funny and like kind of flattering.
Dude, it's a key marker if you're doing it right.
Right. And I'm like, dude, I have a lot of stuff you could pick on. That's what you went with. Like that's come on, that's low hanging fruit, So it's been fun, but it's a lot. Like when the comments start, like trying to keep up with them. And I think the thing that hit me was somebody like thanked me for responding, and that kind of hit me. I was like, oh wow, this person they're thanking me because you're building that authority.
Yeah, dude, it's one of the good things that Wes Watson would say is it is social media,
Yeah.
You gotta be in there responding to this and that, and the DMs and all that. And we did for that first year, like I don't know, it was 30 or 50 a day, but then it's just trying to keep up.
Yeah.
But when you respond, especially as you keep growing it, that's a big deal to people.
Well, I think one of the biggest difference I'm seeing too is like the new followers, people engaging. A lot of them are like in real estate.
Yeah,
sort of like your target audience. It's not just like a bunch of random. I mean, you get random whatever, but it's a lot of the people that we've been focusing on trying to target.
So they're searching it too.
Yeah, so it's been working out really well. And I was going through videos to do reaction videos, and like my own video popped up.
Oh, that's
I was like, oh, that's awesome for like real estate investing and that kind of thing. So I was like, all right, we're on the right track.
Are you going to do more coaching? Like you took that group?
Yeah, I mean, that's funny. I don't really know what I want to do with it, but I also know just building your own brand, it could take you in so many different directions.
Yeah.
Coaching's tough. What I learned too with coaching is you really have to screen the people that you're coaching. Not everybody's going to be the right fit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay. But, I want to make sure whoever I'm coaching really sees the value in it.
Yeah, just because they can afford it doesn't
mean they're the right client.
No, not at all, man. What about any did you give any thought to like any info products?
Not really. I think I'm just focusing on just keep building your brand, just keep working at it. Like the rest will come, right? If you get the eyeballs, you get the attention, then there's 1,000,001 different things you could do.
Yeah.
I just don't want to go like too early into some stuff.
Yeah.
And just keep building, because like anything else, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
It's consistent.
So I don't want to start going in too many different directions.
Yeah.
I just want to keep building, the brand.
That's it. What about a book?
I don't know.
You gotta write that, man.
I know. I gotta write.
You can work on that. When you start, whatever. People would love to hear that, and it's just another thing is the authority.
Yeah, I know. I give you so much credit. You do all the books, and you've done all that stuff. And I always say, I was like, I don't know how this man finds time to do all this. But then I always say too, like if you want to do something, you find the time.
Find the time.
So then I'm like, that's like an excuse people give me, is the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People use that they don't have the time, right?
But what about you? You coach people on fasting. Like, what else do you want to do?
Well, like we were talking about, one of the things we talked about for this year was the marketing / building a personal brand. So I love that stuff. Just love studying, which was a really good documentary was on. It was a Pee-wee Herman documentary I watched last year. It's really good. It might be on HBO Max. It's a 2-part series because I loved him growing up.
Right.
But what a masterclass at building a character.
Right.
And you think back, like you never saw him in interviews. Besides, he was Pee-wee. People don't even know his real name. He did that intentionally.
Right, till he got caught in the adult theater or whatever,
dude,
right?
And another thing, dude, he, in the documentary, this going back probably to the early 80s, he had a boyfriend, he was gay. And at that time, he realized that this is not going to help the career that I want to build. So he went back in the closet. For decades, nobody knew,
That
So
makes sense.
it's really interesting. And then, but he filmed this. They filmed it with him like a month or two before he died, and I don't think they knew that. He didn't tell anybody that he had like terminal cancer. So it was good though. But yeah, anyway, I love studying it. So that info products is still the main thing I want to focus on. That it all tied into the block of my schedule, not having the time to brainstorm, and so that's going to be huge. But that, and then we're kind of taking the coaching towards almost like a Panda-Man University in a school group. You know, so I do have one-on-ones, but there's capacity with that.
Right.
You know,
It's tough being on the phone all day like that.
yeah, yeah,
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
If you were to get somebody on as a personal, like they want to build a personal brand, how would you go about giving them advice?
Well, first you got to find out what they like, you know, and you hang out with somebody. Like I said, you could pick up on if somebody's a character. They don't have to be, right? It helps if that's what they want to do, but then you know what's interesting about them, right? That's the main thing, is if somebody wants to do that, but nobody wants to get trolls, or you know, most people are petrified by that, so they try to please everybody. They never actually talk about their authentic views, you know. So I would spend time with them and say, you know, almost give me your philosophy of life, or whatever their topic is that they want to get into, and then you start going down the origin story, which we all have, just like any superhero. Like that's how they, you know, Stan Lee would write the scripts. Okay, it's like the hero's journey. And if people can see it, and like I'm telling you with Liver King, I told them when he got busted. When was that? That's over 2 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
When they leaked the emails.
Right.
I think that was completely intentional, because at that point the mainstream was talking about him, mainstream media, and then his sales went up, and then he had the documentary, which was a really good instructional one too. And at the end, it's kind of like he's a fallen man the way they leave it. And then he goes off the rails with Joe Rogan last summer. I think, is he still doing it? Like, I haven't seen his stuff, but it was really bizarre. I don't know if you saw it. Like,
No, I didn't see it.
It was almost as if he was on psychedelics like all the time. He just went nuts, and he would travel to Texas or wherever he was traveling to Rogan's place, and he was threatening to kill him. But I think it's intentional. And then he's going to be completely broken. Then he's going to rebuild himself, and people are going to
Rally around him.
Yeah,
People love a good comeback story.
they love it, man.
I mean, it happened in the NFL. Like John Gruden, same thing. They leaked all those emails and pretty much ruined him and got him out of the league. And people called him all these things. And then he linked up with Barstool, and everybody loves him. But he still can't get back in the NFL.
People will forgive you pretty quick. You know,
People like a good comeback story.
they love it. They really love that, man. And then you got to, you know, the comeback story, and then you have the villain side, which is, did you watch The Penguin?
Yeah.
That was good, dude.
So good.
I hope they come out with another one, but I heard they might not.
I didn't realize that was Colin.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Colin
it didn't
Farrell.
look like him at all.
Unbelievable. I think like how long it must have taken them to get into that every day.
Yeah.
And then, so we shot that commercial. It took us like 9 hours, right? And it was like a minute commercial with BK. So I'm like, man. Because I used to be like, why does it take so long to come out with another season?
Have you seen that one, Paul?
Yeah.
That's great. But that was a great origin story, you know, even though you kind of root for him, even though he's just so twisted.
Yeah, I mean, that's like The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Right? Tony Soprano's a mob boss,
Yeah.
but like you fall in love with him and you root for him, and he's at the core, he's really a bad dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when you know a character is a good character.
Yeah, some of these writers
Yeah.
are so good, man, that, you know, you get a good writer, you know, there's so many ways you could go about it with building a personal brand. But I think it's just a lot of people, you guys have told me, a lot of people won't step into it.
Right. They're worried about what others think, or
They hold back.
and it's not something you get that instant gratification, like the instant results.
No.
It's not like you start it and you can measure the result right away. It takes time.
You have to be committed to it, you know, and just, like you said, it's the number one asset nowadays.
How long were you doing Facebook videos in your shed
Years, dude.
with nobody watching?
Yeah.
Compared to now.
Years, man. I started I think YouTube was 11 or 12. That was the first thing I started. As far as like social media, you know, Facebook, it's 10 years. 10 years since we moved into that house.
Huh.
You know, that's when I started doing those. And it's just, the more you do it, the better you get.
You built a following on social media. You barely know how to use your phone or ChatGPT.
It's crazy.
I mean, against all odds.
It's crazy, man.
If it wasn't for social media, you'd have a Nokia.
We're actually thinking of getting the kids a flip phone, dude, because sometimes we'll leave the boys at home for like an hour if there's practice, but we don't have a house line, so we gotta get a house line for them or a flip phone just in case they feel at peace. Yeah, but it's funny, dude, because I'm very analog, but I do think that there's gonna be I think there's a lot of power in that. Staying connected to that. Writing by hand.
Yeah.
Doing that type of stuff.
And dude, it works for you.
Yeah.
You gotta do what works for you, right?
Totally. Yeah.
You're doing a strongman contest after doing marathons last year. You're always pushing yourself.
That's it. You gotta, it's good too, because I think it's good for the kids to see.
Yeah, you're leading by example.
Yeah. I think it's good for them to see. And I mean, our fathers were a different generation. I remember the last time, we had probably just a year or two in New Jersey from Michigan. But I remember going to my dad's softball game, seeing him hit a home run. And I remember early on in basketball, so I might have been 8 or 9, but he could still dunk it.
Yeah.
And he was probably in the same age, but I'm like, man, But then I don't remember many of the fathers being in good shape. It just wasn't a thing for them. But being in good shape into their 50s and 60s, and so I think that could be a really cool thing.
I don't think people realize too is, I talk a lot about real estate investing. I mean, your family now and then were always into real estate investing.
Yeah.
Right, help set the foundation for you guys.
Dude, that's what my dad bought. I don't know how he got into it, but when we were in Michigan, he owned 3 or 4 houses. But his plan when he bought them was that was going to be for our colleges.
Right.
Right.
So I do, yeah.
Yeah. So they were able to each, for all 4 of us, they paid for 3 years, and then we had to come up with a year. And then he got Shane into it when Shane was in high school. I think their first property, Shane's, was in Easton, I think.
Okay.
But he was probably 16 years old.
Right.
My dad walked him through the process, and then he's a whiz with that stuff. And then you got Reese is doing the Airbnbs primarily.
Right. Shittiest investment strategy out there.
Yeah. To me, we got to go over that because I don't fully. I understand the concept.
No, I mean, listen, Reese is dialed in. I mean, he's like a mad scientist. Him and I still talk.
Oh, okay,
we'll talk through, social. We're always DMing each other.
Yeah, he's got a brilliant mind.
And the kid is super sharp.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I still call him a kid. He's not a kid, but Airbnb is tough because to me, you're in the hospitality business, not the real estate business. You're making sure you're getting the reviews. People are complaining that there's not enough towels or this or that. It's much different than just buying like rental properties.
Turn the house over every.
The worst part of being a landlord is the turns, and Airbnb is nothing but turns.
I didn't think of that.
So it's a lot of management. It's like,
what's the draw for most people? Is that they think they can get a lot more.
It's more cash flow. They're thinking they're going to get more cash flow. So instead of getting $3,000 a month on a rent, they're like, hey, I could get $6,000 doing an Airbnb, but it's not passive.
Yeah, that's true.
It's good cash flow, but you're dealing with a lot of stuff. And what I always get nervous about is you can have an Airbnb somewhere, and then you get the wrong politician in, and they ban it.
Aren't they trying to do that in the city?
They're trying to do that, or they think they did.
They did it. And
they're putting restrictions around, like for the World Cup coming in.
Yeah.
So I don't like not being able to control that. And what happens is if you hear these nightmare stories about Airbnbs, the more you hear about them, the more politicians say, we need to regulate this more. So that to me is, I've looked into doing Airbnbs, but I've always kind of held off because I get worried about that stuff.
It makes sense. I mean, you would know. When did you first really, obviously I know when you were coming to the gym way back, you were in the process of getting your license, but what, was it in college? Like, at what point was it that, I know we've talked about this, it was the first thought in your mind that you were going to that field?
I think it was always in my head.
Because your mom, you think?
Yeah, it just was around it. My mom did some commercial real estate. I mean, nothing of big like numbers, but it was just kind of around it, so I was always interested in it. And then getting in as an agent, I knew I didn't want to always just be a realtor. And I was lucky I was able to do hundreds of thousands of dollars of business at 25, 26 pretty quick. But I always knew I wanted to get on the investing side. So I started doing fix and flips. I thought that's what I wanted. But that just became another full-time job. And you get the money from it. You got to pay the government. Just long-term wasn't it. And then around 2015, 16, I was like, I want to start buying rentals. And like anyone else, I was nervous because it wasn't my forte. I had a rental that I lived in the house. I bought another one, so I rented it out. So I started what kind of was my sweet spot is I started buying condos. I started buying them in Hillsborough. And I was buying them for 60 cents on the dollar through like auction websites. So I was buying things that at the time I bought it for $100,000, it was worth 170. And I was able to get in and out of these deals with no money. And for me, I guess I was just comfortable in that space. But then like anything else, I got comfortable there. Then I started doing the multifamily, started moving up, started 5 units, 10 units, and then now we're just closed on a 33,000 square foot strip mall.
Nice. Where's that again?
A Ewing by
awesome.
outside of Trend. So it's just kind of the progression. So when I was did a video, guy was shitting on investing in condos. He's like, it's the worst idea you could ever do. I said, well, depending on what area you live in with prices, you might have to start with condos just because of affordability.
Sure.
With investing. And I started with condos and it's done all right. And I still own some of them. So it's not like a one size fits all because it's based on areas and things like that. But I think part of my problem is, and I don't want to say it's a problem, but like once I start and I start learning how to do it on a small, like how do I go bigger? How do I go scale?
Yeah.
So I went from $100,000 condos to $4 million strip malls.
Yeah. But
and it didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, over the course of over a decade.
Over
right?
10 years,
Well, yeah.
right. Over 10 years. And that's why we say you can't compare somebody's page 100 to your page 1. Like I didn't come out of the gate swinging buying $4 million properties.
Yes.
I came out buying $100,000 properties. And I just learned really how to get the money and keep basically here's $100,000. How do you keep flipping that $100,000 bigger and bigger? And once you learn that, it makes it a lot easier.
What would you say out of these two options, or what most people say blocks them from getting involved in finding the property, or how do they afford it?
Easy. It's just the fear and not having the education. I hear all the time there's no deals out there. I hear it in my own company. We have a closed Facebook group. So I always use this example as we had an agent of mine post a deal that he had off market. It was actually a fraternity house by College of New Jersey. And maybe he wanted $500,000, but it produced $6,000 a month in rent because they rent out the rooms. Literally a fraternity house. Part of me was like, man, it'd be kind of cool to say I own a fraternity house. But then I was like, I'm kind of past that stage of my life of owning a fraternity house. So I called some friends who were always like, hey, if you get anything off market, I would love to buy it. So I called up my friends and they bought it. They ran the numbers. Like, oh, this is a great deal. We're going to take it. So then I went back to my agents and I was doing a presentation. I said, I hear from all of you guys all the time, there's no deals out there. I found a deal that I sold to friends of mine in our closed Facebook group. So if you don't know what you're looking for, you're never going to find it. So if I tell you, hey, just go to this store or some location that you don't know and get me this product, if you don't put it in the navigation, you don't have a roadmap, you're never going to find it.
Yeah.
Right? So if you learn and you have the confidence and I spotted it right away that it was a good deal. And I sold it to friends of mine. And I'm not an active realtor, but I knew what they were looking for, and I knew these are guys that if I found them a good deal, they would do it. And it's just having that confidence too, man. You lose deals. Time kills all deals. And if you don't know what you're looking at and you can't identify it's a good deal, or you wait and you hem and haul, it's gone. So, I mean, that's really what it is. People with that confidence, because I've worked with a couple people getting them into their first investment property. And once they got their first, they were like, all right, I'm ready to get my set. Like that confidence is there because you've done it.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm pretty big on your first deal. Like partner with somebody that's done it before. Even if it costs you more than you're willing to spend, or you're giving them more of a percentage of the deal than you really want. Because once you get that confidence to do it, you could go out and do it so much more.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just think too small. It's not like if I can do it, it's how I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, that's what I did with Shane, the first number, because he was involved. I'd had the gym going, still teaching. I say I wanted to start getting involved, and he kind of took me along.
Yeah.
He had the connections. He knew how to do everything. But I could see that definitely being overwhelming for people. But probably like anything, right? If you don't know what you're.
Right. People are worried about the risk. I hear the financing part. You know, if you find a deal, it's pretty easy to get the money. Or there's like hard money lenders. If you incorporate the numbers into the deal and you know how to underwrite it, you know, there's so much stuff on social media too. Like I saw a woman doing a video about underwriting a deal, and she left out so many parts of the deal. I'm like, if you underwrite deals like she does, you're gonna fucking lose money. Because her numbers, she's not incorporating closing costs, she's not incorporating carrying costs. Like, this is a very fugazi underwriting. So once you know how to do that and run the numbers, it's just one big math equation.
And how long did it take you, do you think, till you felt like you could just, like you saw that deal, you knew it was good, before you could almost like just look at the numbers and...
It probably took me like a year or two to like get that confidence. You know, I underwrite deals on my iPhone. You know, I could, within 2 minutes, tell you whether or not it's a deal. You know, and I think that's one of my assets, is because if it's good, I know to move on it. And just because the numbers work on doesn't mean to me it's a deal I'm also going to do. Like the fraternity house, the numbers worked, but I was like, do I really want to own a fraternity house? Yeah. Like, not really, you know. But for other people, it's a great deal. And they want those deals because you're basically renting out the rooms. So, you know, there's not one size fits all for everybody. And deals that might have looked good to me 5 years ago now are like, it's not really worth it for me. But it could be worth for somebody else.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
Yeah, so we try to help people find deals.
Who would you say in that field, you know, like most fields, there's legends. Like who would you say is like, man, this guy?
Somebody that was good because I've coached with him and he's mentored me and he's helped me with a lot of things and I've been part of his mastermind. His name's Ken Clothier. He's the guy that coached you? Yeah. I've never seen somebody be able to look at your business or your situation and be able to tell you what's wrong with it so quick. And he's the real deal. He's done
in Texas?
He's in Texas. Yeah, San Diego, Texas. Okay. And he's like, no bullshit. And he's great. And he's grown multiple businesses. And he's got a big social media following and all that stuff too. But he's really at his core, man. And just never seen anybody be able to analyze, dissect, and fix a business in like he can. You know, I've seen him walk in on a presentation and somebody says, my business is this. And he'll just look at him and goes, no, that's bullshit. That's not your business. You're in the lead generation business. If I were you, I would take those leads and I would sell it and not even deal with all the insurance, all the bullshit. You'll make more money. And I'm just like, wow. Like, he is spot on.
How old is he?
He's got to be in his 50s. He's got a bunch of businesses, a bunch of vertical, great dialogue. I mean, he had Frank Hearn at one of our masterminds. Oh, nice. He was a trip to listen to live.
Frank Hearn was?
Yeah, he was funny.
What is he up to now? Like, what is his main thing?
He's still doing the copywriting. Yeah, I think he charges like $1 gazillion for a sales letter.
Yeah, I believe it, man.
He's brought a lot of good people in, and I've just learned. You know, I've sat in the room with him for the day, and he's dissected some of our businesses and really shredded them. And everything we thought we were doing right, he's like, no, I wouldn't do that. I would do this. And it's just changed. So it's big. I'm actually going to go see him in May to go over one of our businesses in person in Texas. But that's been one of the biggest influences in my business.
How did you find him?
Just one of my friends is friends with him. As part of his mastermind, he's like, hey, I think you should join this mastermind. Joined it, got a lot of value out of it. You know, paid for the private coaching and just like dug in with him, and it's been awesome.
That's cool. I remember you telling me about that guy. What do you think of Trump as far as real estate? Is he as good as people think, or do you feel like that was?
Yeah, I mean, I think he brought back the big beautiful bill. The big beautiful bill brought back bonus depreciation. So if you're a real estate professional, I mean, talk about a huge tax savings. We bought a 4-family for $650. We put about $150 into it. So say we're in the property for $800. It appraised for $1 million. We refied it, and we got a $500,000 depreciation to be able to write off in our taxes. And before Trump came back in the office, that was getting weaned out. I mean, that's a big difference.
Huge.
Right? You're talking about a good $150,000, $200,000 in actual cash savings. So for real estate, it's been really keeping the investing part humming, because people want that depreciation, wants the write-offs. So I think for the real estate, that's been really great. And he's trying to really ban like bigger companies from coming in and buying the big blocks.
and stuff like that,
Keep
yeah.
corporate, which I was surprised that
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
But I don't think he's necessarily wrong. So in terms of the real estate and everything, it's been good. I mean, the thing that's been hurting the market is interest rates. We'll see a little bit of dip. You know, rates were really going down, and then the war in Iran started, and any uncertainty brought the rates back up, which really slowed down the market when the rates hit. You know, that's the tough part. When it's volatile, it slows markets down.
Sure. What did you? So we could come back to that in a sec. Think of him as a real estate investor, like a tycoon.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the things he's done, especially like buying some of these country clubs and.
Want a caffeine toothpick?
No, I'm good.
Remember? Want me to throw it? Or?
You know, I saw Mark Cuban talking about Trump.
Yeah.
I believe it was Mark Cuban talking about Trump when he bought his golf courses, that when he was buying these golf courses, they were all in default or having trouble, but they were all sitting with a lot of money there from people paying their initiation fees or their bonds. So he was buying golf courses for like $7 million, but there'd be $20 million in bonds there that he would be able to get, and you could use that to leverage you could use that money to make improvements, and if somebody left, you could pay them back, but you're able to leverage that money to be able to do more. You know, I say when you see really big deals, a lot of people don't see what's behind the scenes of those deals. You have $20 million in the bank. If you're holding it for other people, there's a lot of banks who will pay you interest for just holding that money, where you can make six figures, million, just holding other people's money, because the banks want those deposits.
Yeah.
So you see there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that people don't even realize are really part of the deal, or really what the deal is. So with that part is, you know, I really respect what he's done with like the golf courses, buying the building the towers. I mean, AC doesn't sound like it was the greatest investment, but just the stones to do it is half the battle.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I remember reading all those, you know, The Art of the Deal and some of his other books. He master character, you know, master persuader.
Right, he's a master, like him or not, he's a master marketer.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
You know, between The Apprentice and all this other stuff that he's done. I mean, he marketed his way to become the president of the United States.
I knew when he was running the first time, just from studying the marketing. And before that, I didn't really pay attention, you know, to the politics. And that year, I got really like interested because of him. But all you saw around here was Hillary signs. But I said, he's a celebrity. Like, to me, when you look at a personal brand, that's the most powerful thing. It's a celebrity factor, more than an expert or whatever. And I would say, he's going to win because he's in the public consciousness, and people, you can't not think something about him. You either hate him, typically, or you love him. 99% of the people.
Right.
Right? And so you're thinking about him either way. So, yeah, he knows exactly. What was his name? Scott Adams just died. He was the creator of Dilbert, the comic.
Yeah.
His one book. He's got some really good books. Scott Adams. I saw him on a Rogan, which I usually don't listen to Rogan. I saw a clip. This is like 2015, before they even had the Republican primaries. And he's telling Rogan, and at that point, remember saying he's got no shot of beating Bush and whoever else, Dr. Ben Carson. And Scott Adams told me, he's like, look, he goes, I'm a hypnotist. He goes, I'm a trained hypnotist. And he goes, this is the most persuasive human being we've ever witnessed. The way he uses his hands. And he could see it, though. So you add that factor in, and then the celebrity factor. I was like, there's no way this guy could lose.
And he was sort of there at the right time where people were very frustrated.
Yeah, you want an outsider.
Yeah, and social media, and he was the first one to really gain like a lot of traction.
Oh, yeah.
because, like you said, I mean, he's polarizing.
Polarizing. Think about how he got involved in the black community. With like he knew to branch out to athletes,
Yeah.
the rappers, right? How many songs has he been?
Yeah.
Really smart with that stuff.
And I mean, and he's really good at branding.
Yeah, he's the best.
He knows how to put his name on everything.
Everything, and the way he describes it, everything's the biggest, the best. Everything he talks about.
Yeah, I saw him somewhere like, oh, did you ever go to this golf resort? He's like, why? I have the best golf resorts. Why would I go anywhere else but my own? You know, he's very, he's good at that.
Yeah, it's crazy to witness. But most people aren't looking at that, you know. They get so caught up in the emotion that they can't see it. What do you think about the new rocket ship?
That went around the moon?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't they land on the moon?
There
If
you
it's
go,
that
man.
easy to land on it, they
Dude.
did it so many times, why not?
I told Braxton, because Devin's birthday is April 1st, so me and her were out that night down in Florida. And I knew what was going on, you know, because my father-in-law has always got the Fox News on.
Right.
So I knew and I'd seen stuff that they're going to be launching. And people started making noise. I thought they saw a dolphin or something, but it was a rocket ship. So I got it on video. But the next day I go, Brax, do you think, because I try to teach them all this, I said, do you think it's a coincidence that they launched that on April Fool's Day? Just another FU to people like, you
I didn't even
idiots.
think that.
I don't think that's an accident, you know, because,
Never even thought of that.
yeah.
See, Kyle, you're thinking that. I'm thinking, like, I'm watching the astronauts in the thing, and I'm like, what do they got to do when they got to go to the bathroom? Like, this is what I wonder. Are they on catheters? I was like, is that a sign that I'm getting old? That I'm wondering how this poor guy's
How
going to
do
the
they go to the
bathroom up there, right? You're floating around. How do
Two
you take a
different
piss?
perspectives, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think, oh, man, it's April Fool's. They're really sticking it to us.
I watched a video today. Forget about the flat Earth, but just the fact of, they say a rocket ship has to go 17,000 miles an hour to get into the first layer.
Right.
Then to break through the gravitational field, it has to go 25,000 miles an hour. You look at these people, and from the cam in there, they're like this. The fastest a human being has ever gone is like Mach 6, which is like 4,000 miles an hour in one of those jets. And then the guy that's making the video, he's like, did you ever see they have this speed cart? Nobody's on it. He goes, this thing goes 6,000 miles an hour. That thing, it's so fast. A bullet goes up to 3,000 miles an hour. There's no, like, you just watch it. The clouds are going faster than them when they're going up. It gets so silly to me once you see it. I'm like, there's nobody that can travel at 17,000 miles, you know, even if there wasn't outer space. Yeah, it's people will keep believing that, though. It goes back to the moon landing that we talked about. And did you see the clip of that guy who was involved with this mission?
No.
And I think it might have been Matt Fury sent it to me yesterday. Jim Brewer did something on it, and I saw it prior. But he's giving an interview, press conference. He goes, it's going to be so great. You know, it's going to be the first time we ever sent people to the moon. He says it flat out.
That's
Right?
insane.
You look at Buzz Aldrin's interviews. I was watching some of them last night. He was flat out coming out and saying, you know, as he was getting older, it never happened. We never went. Even the kids, I would ask them, like, no, it didn't really happen. It was an idea.
If you ever had the chance to go, right, because of like Elon, Jeff, right, they want to be able to send people out to space, would you go?
No, because I know I'd be sitting in a room like this filming it. That's what I do, dude. I'm telling you. Stanley Kubrick filmed the first one. It might be interesting to be on that thing, but I don't even think. Remember the Challenger crash?
Yeah.
That was like 86 or something.
86, yeah.
I've been watching more stuff on that, dude. How the whole thing was staged. All these people that were on there, the astronauts, are alive. Same. They look exactly the same. Same names. So some of them are trying to say, well, they had a twin. And it's like one guy did statistically. He's like, this is impossible that they all have doppelgangers that have the same name. They're all out there, dude. So it's just putting it in there.
Do you think Epstein's alive?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Is that him in Florida? That one? No. I don't know if that's him. I don't think he would be out like that. Yeah, that would be funny. I think he's definitely alive. I don't think Charlie Kirk's dead. I didn't buy that for 1 second when that happened. I'm like, this
Really?
seems way too. There's too many. But people accepted the narrative right away that this kid shot him and put the gun back to get all the stuff, and now they're even coming out and saying, well, the bullet didn't match. This bullet that got lodged in his superhuman neck strength that would rip your head off, it didn't match the caliber this kid had. And it's like, well, who believed that story?
Why do you think they staged it?
I really believe we're living like the Truman Show. So it's everything they do is to get emotion, just like COVID. Get people emotional, and then whatever the message they want to tell them is. Now, if he was taken out, I'm pretty certain what people were responsible for it, like behind it. It ties into what's going on right now, but I think he was a character. If you've seen pictures of him, dude, there's some when his gums are so far up, like older pictures, and then it's not the same person. So I think a lot of these people, they say there's 6 different people playing Trump. There was 5 Bidens, like actual actors. And who's the real one? Like, you don't know, right? Did you see the Jim Carrey stuff like a month ago?
Yeah. Out in Paris or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but I don't believe anything that they tell us.
Well, I think with the presidents, right, they definitely have to adopt like guys that look just
You
like
have to.
him.
The mask
because they got to also
access
be able to stage it sometimes that he's going up there
Totally.
if it's like violence.
Totally. If you look at it was June of last year, I made a video on it. People were getting all riled up. But he came back from the G7 summit. And I noticed in pictures right away, he's next to Rubio. I'm like, Trump is a lot shorter all of a sudden. He's like 6'4", like 6'3", 6'4". And then I started reading this other guy that I read his headlines every night. He's a really good writer. He calls him the short, fat, fake Trump, this current version. But if you just look at his height, so I think it's impossible to actually figure out what is going on. But I don't believe anything that we're told by the mainstream. 0. That's where I start. You know?
Right. The Charlie Kirk one, well, where do you think he'd be? So you think he's still alive?
They say he's in Valhalla, which Kash Patel talked, which was in I think it's off of. Well, I've heard he's in Greenland or Valhalla. They mentioned this Valhalla a lot, which in some cultures means like heaven, but it's an actual island.
What do you think? He just wanted out of the mainstream?
I think they used him for what they needed, or they bring him back. So there's 2 options to me with Trump. Going into this election, I was more of the feeling that just seeing I said, he's a part of this. He's part of the same team, and it's just he's the perfect person to divide people further. I love what he stands for. You know that. Like, I love his. So it's either that he's part of this evil, or he does have this master plan so I hope I'm wrong. I hope he does, but the more I just sit back and watch and see what's going on. So if he does have this master plan, because they were saying Charlie Kirk they were going to put up in the 30s. What's the next one? 20 and 32. He was going to be the
Run for
nominee.
president.
Yeah. So they bring him back. Imagine that shock factor. Hey, we had to do this because he was exposing this or this was going on. So I don't know, man. I hope we find out some of the truth of stuff one day, just out of curiosity. But I don't. It's just. Remember the movie Wag the Dog?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you have that, the Truman Show. Like, this is what they do.
You watch Paradise
I have not.
on Hulu?
No.
This is right up your alley.
Is it?
Yeah, there's like a big natural disaster, and they like all the uppities like flee to Colorado, and they have a whole civilization built like in a mountain.
Oh, that's cool.
And they tell everybody that the whole outside world is wiped away, but it's not.
Oh, I got to check that out.
It's right up your alley.
You like it?
It's great. They just finished the 2nd season.
Oh, I'm going to check that out, dude.
And it's really well done.
That sounds cool.
It'll be right up your alley because
yeah.
it's everything you're talking about.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So Devin sometimes will pick up, having 4 kids. She's out and about. Sometimes I get McDonald's, right? And I'm like, we know it's not good for you. But on the trip, so I got Braxton now looking at, I think even this bottle has it. See the video I put up with the kosher symbol?
Yeah.
So Braxton's really into it. And I said, well, Brax, with McDonald's meat, they find human meat a lot. And he started looking it up, and he found stuff, like on Instagram and stuff, on my phone. All 3 of them now.
They don't want McDonald's?
The next, we're not having any fast food. I said, we can look up what's kosher or what's,
Yeah.
But it was funny because she's been wanting to stop, and it was him hearing that and then telling them. They're like, ew. I'm like, you can look that up. You can find that.
Right.
But what is that?
Well, you're also teaching your kids just to think outside the box.
You think outside
right?
the box, yeah.
My history teacher when I was in high school, he said that, like, because he was like an ex-military guy, he said that, like, they covered something up with, like, the food industry, like, they were, like, the processed meat and stuff like that. Someone had fell into the processor and he died, and like it was just so much.
It's probably got to be like
Right.
parts per million or something.
They couldn't do anything.
It's freaky,
They
dude.
just covered it all.
Well, that's like, I didn't realize
believe
this.
it.
I have a friend of mine who owns like pizza parlors, and he was telling me that the dough for pizza is going to get outlawed because in the dough there's some ingredient or something that's bad. So he goes, if you go to Europe and eat pizza, he's like, it's a totally different crust dough, and you eat it and you don't get that like drag feeling because it's all natural. So he's been experimenting. He says in the next 3 years everybody's going to have to switch to this pizza dough, but he's like, it's a lot different than the pizza dough we're used to, like the flour. So he's like, I've been already experimenting with it. Like, I want to get out to market first with this new dough. He's like, it's crunchier, fluffier. He's like, it's a totally different crust.
Interesting. Well, I knew when we went to Italy, even the bread, the pizza, like
Yeah.
you're saying, it was
A lot more fresh, and
more
because whatever toxins are in the and think about pizza's like the number one thing people consume.
yeah,
You know?
big time.
For me, I could consume it at breakfast, lunch,
pizza's the best.
dinner, dessert.
It's the best.
Can never have enough pizza,
Yeah.
right? But he's so it's totally going to be a different. And I didn't know they even did that. And I started researching it. Like apparently, that dough, the flour, is terrible for you.
I believe it. Yeah, most people. It's funny that like you know, people, if stuff's available, like fast food and all that, people know, right? They don't know that, like the human meat, but it doesn't matter.
When was the last time you had fast food?
Well, we had Taco Bell on, when was that? We're coming back from Florida. The kids had never had it. And I told them, I said, look, you ain't going to be perfect.
Right.
Right? It's right across from the hotel. They never tried KFC. So on the way down, we stopped in Georgia that Friday night. And Brax kept seeing all the commercials on March Madness. We watched Michigan State. And so I ordered like $150 worth. I was going to pick it up. The kid's like, he's like, oh. But I'm like, you see, you make me order when I'm hungry, then I try to, get all what they want. So we did that Friday, and then been McDonald's. I haven't had that in a long time. It's been a long time.
I remember exactly the last time I had fast food. It was November 7th, and the reason I remember this is that we did our charity event. We did a casino night for Children's Specialized Hospital, and we raised about $80,000. We had 150 people at the event. And when you host the event, you're entertaining, right? How are you? Everything good?
Yeah.
You're running the event. You don't eat. And so it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, and my wife's like, did you eat it all tonight? I'm like, no. I'm like, did you? She's like, no. I was like, I'm starving. She's like, I'm going to go on DoorDash. She's like, Burger King is open. Like, just get it. Like, so we get it delivered DoorDash.
I do like Burger King better than McDonald's.
At 1 a.m., dude, I ate a Whopper. At 1 a.m., it was like a gourmet burger, right? Yeah, some drinks. It was so good. And then at about 1:20 a.m., I was like, that was the worst burger I ever ate. And that was the last time I had fast food. But it was like, and I always tell the people about the event. I'm like, I was like, I ended up door dashing like I was in college at 1:20 Burger King.
That's the only option sometimes, man.
Yeah,
You gotta eat.
and at the time, it tasted like the best burger I ever had.
He said, I think it might have been Socrates, or one of those guys, said that hunger is the best sauce.
Yeah.
I remember bodybuilding, broccoli and mustard would be like a gourmet towards the end of the prep. You probably know from wrestling, right? But I like Chipotle a lot. I don't know if you consider that fast food.
Yeah, no, I like
Chipotle.
Chipotle. I like that quick.
Chipotle's a go-to for mine if I'm traveling.
By my office, we have a Cava. Did you ever have that?
No,
It's like the Mediterranean Chipotle.
no, never heard.
Oh,
What is
it's
it called?
really good. Cava, C-A-V-A.
It's a chain.
Yeah, they're starting to pop up a lot. And it's just like that It's just like Chipotle.
Oh yeah,
And it's awesome.
you gotta check that out.
Blows Chipotle out of the water.
Really?
Blows it out of the water. Cava, C-A-V-A. I think they just put one in Bridgewater. It blows Chipotle away.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
I gotta try it.
So does Jason. I saw him shaking his head over there when he heard it. Yeah, it's fire, dude.
What do you guys get there?
It's the best. It's like you could get like falafel chicken. I usually get like a chicken and rice bowl, but everything's so fresh.
Yeah, do they have like wraps? Do they use like pita bread or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, dude, it's fire.
I guess.
Meatballs are fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like Chipotle's Mexican food. It's like Greek food.
Oh,
Well, dude, it's so funny. I was in West Palm Beach on a golf trip, and the night before we went golfing, we went to one of these like healthy kitchens, right? And I was like, I could go. I was like, do you have a Diet Coke? They're like, no, we don't serve Diet Coke here. I'm like, you got a bar with all this alcohol here, and you're too good because Diet Coke is not good for you. I'm like, where do you draw the line? Liquor's terrible for you.
Exactly.
Having one Diet Coke, my body will process a lot better
Than
than having a Jack and Coke.
They did a study on the Diet Coke, and it was like you have to consume like I think it's like 200 cans to actually get the negative side effects in like per day.
Yeah. And like anything else, right? You have one, it's not that big of a
Yeah.
deal. But I know my body takes a lot longer to break down one drink than it would to drink but it was just such bullshit. It was like, well, you make a lot of money on selling liquor, so that's okay. Because the lady just gave me that whole like hipster like attitude, like Diet Coke, sir. We don't do Diet Coke.
Got alcohol right
I'm
there.
right. Just give me Jägermeister then. Like, jump off your fucking morale. You
It
know?
is funny, dude. How people will turn an eye to stuff just because it doesn't fit whatever. It is funny, and where do you draw the line?
Yeah, because their whole thing is we're this health conscious place, and the alcohol's fucking terrible for you.
It's probably the worst thing,
It's the worst thing.
But it's one of those things that's been so normalized. But it is, man. It'll wreak havoc, And it's stuff you gotta pick and choose, like you're saying, right? Like there's, we'll do the shredder coming up. I'll cut out. I don't really drink liquor, but beers, I'll cut them out. I'll go through phases, and then when I have it, I know that, okay, it's not the best for me, but I enjoy it. I think there's got to be it's kind of like I was telling the kids with the fast. I said, you ain't going to be perfect. Not everything's going to have a you on it.
Right.
But just try to make good choices.
This is totally changing gears, but I know you're a huge college basketball fan, always have been, right? What do you think of coaches like Hurley for UConn, right? What do you think of those tough?
I love it, dude.
And I think Pitino's a lot like that.
Old school Izzo at Michigan State.
I was upset when St. John's lost. I was hoping that they would get through.
I wanted them too, man. He's a legend. He's a legend.
Yeah.
I think I love it, dude. I love it, and it's hopefully the coach from Kansas State. I think it was Kansas State. A really good coach. He took him like to the Sweet 16. He got fired this year.
Because he made him take the names. He said they were playing so bad, none of them will be there next year, and he took their names off the jersey.
Yeah, they fired him.
And they said he was too tough on the kids.
Dude, I can't stand it, dude. You see it at almost every level. And I think if Trump's executive order, which is so stupid because you're going back to what worked. Did you see that? You have 5 years and you have one free transfer.
Yeah.
That's even easier than it was. But that's what I've been saying. You got to put back in the transfer rule. Because
but what's crazy too, though, is these kids in college aren't kids.
No, that's what they put into 5 years. Indiana football was
26 years old.
It's crazy. That's the Packers were the same age.
Yeah.
Average age on the Packers.
Yeah.
Like this is a way different playing field. And I think to that point of being the tough coaches, if you take the transfer back to what it was, because the fear now is, if you don't have administrators that support you, but hey, if you're mean to this kid, he's going to leave, right? If you're going to coach him hard, he's going to leave. But now that's supposed to go into effect August 1st. But the pendulum swings and everything, and it's got to go back to that because it's so.
Oh, it is. They're getting paid. They're getting paid like adults. And I heard one kid that was at UConn, and I don't know the names. I don't follow it like you did. But he said he chose UConn because he's like, I knew I had a lot of potential, and I know I need a tough coach on me to get it out.
Yeah.
Which I really respected the kid saying that, right? He wanted the challenge of playing for someone who's not going to let you just glide through.
He's an animal. You know his dad, right? And from St. Anthony's?
Yeah.
You're a legend.
And his brothers.
I think he's freaking awesome.
They're like the Newells of Hillsborough.
Yeah, they are, man. You got Danny and Bobby Sr., I think the father was.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge fan of that. But what you're seeing, like your Izzo, your Pitino, Hurley's a lot younger than them, but there's not many of them left because they're leaving because they don't want to deal with this.
Right.
The NIL money, which again, that's not going to go away, but these kids just leaving where you can't coach them hard. So a lot of the legends the past few years, they're gone, man.
Yeah, but what I thought was really sad about the tournament's never going to be the same unless they make changes. You're not going to have Cinderella teams.
Yeah, you already see it.
You're not having the Gonzagas. You're not having the Butlers making deep runs. And that was the fun of the tournament.
That was the best part about it.
Right. If it's all going to be number ones and number twos,
That's what you're seeing.
People are going to lose interest.
Because, like the kid on Florida last year that won it, the point guard who was really good. I don't know where he went in the NBA, but he was at a small Northeast school.
Yeah.
It was Division I, but it was one of those teams like a Steph Curry at Davidson that could probably make a run if he's there. And he's at Florida.
Yeah, because it just transfer for the money.
It's a shame because I don't think people realize the effects like of stuff like that. Hey, why is there no more Cinderellas?
Right, and we're not going to see them.
No, unless they change it. You know, it's and if they're.
Well, we'll change it when the ratings start going down because it's all the number ones.
Yeah.
And you don't have like those teams doing the deep runs.
Every couple of years, you got to have some underdogs to make a deep run.
I mean, look at Michigan though. They were terrible 2 years ago, and they dominated this year.
If you look at, they did a graphic I saw, I think on X, the Sweet 16 teams, right? So Michigan State was playing UConn. They had the mascot, the logo of all 5 starters for each team. What school they started at? Not one guy in Michigan started at Michigan. The only school with all 5 that started at that school that are starters was Michigan State because it was an old school. But Michigan had not one person.
It's wild.
And the kid on Reed, he's on UConn, really good, the center. He was at Michigan for 2 years. Those were the 2 years that UConn won. Then he transferred to UConn. They lost to Florida in the second round.
Yeah,
and then he lost to Michigan. So those schools he was at won 3 titles in 4 years. He didn't win one.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Could you imagine me and him just like, what did I do?
Dude, I had this guy that reached out. What did he do? He popped up when we were in Florida. It was the day Duke played UConn. So I follow him, and he messages me back. See, he's got a lot of followers. He's a sports betting guy, young guy. So he's messaging me back and forth, and he put a video up after the Duke game. He had Duke. So on that shot, the way he bet it, he said he lost $1 million.
Oh, shit.
That shot by UConn.
And that was the best game of the tournament.
Oh, dude, that was awesome. That was awesome. And that shows you Hurley, though. I told my father-in-law, because he'll watch when we're there. Keeps up with sports. He loves college football. But when they were down like 17, 18, I call him Big Dave. I said, Big Dave, there's no way UConn's going to get blown out. So this was the first half still. I said, they won't with that coach. Because they're champions.
Right.
And to come back like that was awesome. That was sick. I love seeing Duke lose. So.
And I like learning more and more about, what's Hurley's first name? Danny. Like I love hearing more about how superstitious he is.
Oh, dude, you see him
about
with the
like
sage?
The pin. Yeah, and his wife said that like she left something at the hotel, and he was like, "Where is it?" And they gave her like a police escort to go to the hotel to get it, to bring it back, because he's like, I need it.
Oh, he's big into that.
But you could just tell he's like so locked in. Like I respect that so much.
Yeah, he's. I just saw a clip of him the other day. He was doing the sage, and he puts onions or garlic in between each corner of the stadium. He's got a whole routine, dude.
And it's just amazing how young these athletes. So I don't know. Like I still watch like NCAA wrestling. And I was watching the finals. There's a kid that won at Oklahoma State who was in high school this year, and he left and won a national championship. Wow. So he was wrestling in Pennsylvania. He left in December.
How's that even possible?
He forfeited his last year of high school eligibility, went into Division I wrestling, and won the national championship.
That's nuts, man.
Jax Taylor, I think, or Jack something was his name. Can you believe that though? Like at that age, 18 years old,
wrestling,
winning the national, and in a tough weight class, like a lower weight, like 130, whatever, with a lot of competition.
Where did
won
he
the
know
national
he wrestled
champion
in Pennsylvania? Was he at like?
It was some private prep school.
Was it like this part, like near us, or was it?
I don't know. I don't
That's
really
amazing.
know. But he won it, and there was a couple other true freshmen that won.
Wow.
And that's more rare and rare. But these kids are just coming out on a whole different level. I mean, the Penn State's got stud after stud after stud.
Dave, the kid from Montgomery, still, right?
I think he graduated. Caesar, who's now into real estate investing.
Oh, really?
Who has a big following on doing investing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is kind of ironic.
That's cool, man.
Caesar or something. But
I forget. Yeah, they had.
But even look in the NHL. One of the best players in the NHL is 18 years old. The kid
Oh, yeah.
Schaefer on the Islanders,
Really?
and he's 18.
That's crazy. Well, I guess you see it in the NBA with Cooper Flagg, who played at Duke.
Yeah.
I think he was. He
In the
might still
NBA,
be 17.
In the NBA, we would see that more, right?
You would
Because
see
you would
it.
see, like Kobe
But then they stopped though.
coming out, right?
Yeah,
Kobe,
they stopped,
Durant,
yeah.
they all came out right from high school,
Yeah,
and they were
Durant.
good right away.
Yeah, yeah. Kobe, you know, he was. I remember that when they made the playoffs the first year, and he shot like the 3 air balls, but he used it to drive himself.
Did you watch the Lamar Odom documentary?
No, is it good?
I watched part of it. I got to finish it. It's
I don't. What is it about? Like,
it's about his life
this is life.
and his whole drug addiction and smoking crack, and there's a
Okay,
story.
I'll check it out. I liked him.
I like Lamar too. And he's a person, and they tie in the whole Kardashian thing to it. But
Is he still involved with one of them or no?
no, but he, he had his kids come out. Like he went on a bender the night before the parade after they won the championship, and he was on a bender all night. He invited his kids out, went to the parade, forgot that he invited his kids, and his kids were just watching from the hotel room.
Oh, jeez.
Because, and did you ever hear the story like Doc Gooden? Like after the 1986 World Series, Doc Gooden missed the parade because he was in a crack house doing drugs, watching the parade on TV.
Wow.
And he was on the team.
It is crazy, man.
He's some of the that's just the power of addiction.
I was telling Devin, I don't know, I forget who we were just talking about something like this. Oh, maybe it was Tiger Woods. I said, these guys get to that level and they want that feeling, they get, that high of pitching in front of 50,000 people. And, drugs is a quick way to get that short-term feeling for a lot, and that's what happens. They get hooked on it, and then you hope that they can come out of it. But addiction's, it's hard, man.
Right, and just because you're a pro athlete and have all the money in the world doesn't
matter,
mean
dude.
that it doesn't mean a thing. I mean, look at Tiger. He was on painkillers. When the story first came out, I thought it was just this reiterating the story from a few years ago. I was like, he did it again? And the thing about that is, like, damn, he's lucky he didn't forget killing himself. He's lucky he didn't kill someone, innocent person, driving in the car, So that's...
When you think, I told Devin with him, we talked about it a few times, think about it. He started going south, I think that might have been 10, when that whole scandal, or something like that, 11, 12. But when his father died, just like when Customato for Tyson died, that's when a lot of these guys at that level, if they don't have that male
keeping him in
father
check.
figure,
Yeah.
I think that's where they get into that stuff, man.
Well, and what happens too is they surround themselves with a bunch of yes man.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, yeah, Tiger. And the dad was probably the one be like, son, what are you, like, you were fucking up. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I've known you before you were like, but all these other guys just want to be around them.
Dude, that's a problem. Big problem.
You got to go though, right? 3
Yeah,
o'clock.
I call it 3, man. This was good.
I don't know if it was a real podcast or us just bullshitting for.
It's all right. We'll get a lot of good clips.